Excited to talk to Andrea Bendewald about the art of gifting today. Dre, I literally pass it on to you. There's so much to say about this beautiful topic.
Well, thank you for having me. I love talking about the art of gifting. I love talking about the art of circling. I talk about the art of receiving. So I'm just really happy to share with you and your audience some of the things that have really helped me or things that I've learned through the art of circling, actually. So you and I know each other. We met in a virtual women's circle during the pandemic. And I often share in these circles that I learned more about being who I am sitting in circles with other women. So I really learned this art of gifting from other women. It wasn't taught to me by my family or by my parents, but really by other women who continued doing the job after I moved away from home. So I have a very tight group of female friends, and they're the ones that taught me how to really love myself. That's what I learned first. And from there, I learned about gifting. So what I want to share a couple stories about gifting and receiving. So a lot of us understand that giving and receiving are one and the same. So I want to go back to what that means for me. And that is, I used to only give. I used to only give. I used to spend days, hours, months, years thinking about what I was going to give other people, but I didn't know how to receive. And really, I didn't know myself that well. I didn't know what it is I liked or what it is that I was really, what my gifts were. How about that? The art of gifting is knowing what your gifts are too. So it wasn't until a circle that I was taught, I was actually given an assignment by my spiritual teacher of how to receive. And that gave me the gift of really knowing myself. I had to ask people to do things for me, bring me food that I wanted. And I just had to go through this gesture of, wow, I'm going to receive all of that and see how it feels to really receive, which then made me a more conscious gifter. So that's part A of this art of gifting, learning that receiving is a gift. Why? Because we know that giving feels so good. But if you're only giving and you're not learning how to receive, well, you're missing an opportunity to go deeper with knowing yourself. And in knowing yourself and how to give, well, then you become a better giver. So in the circle, I learned how to receive. And I also learned how to give authentically. So when I didn't know myself, when I didn't know how to receive, when I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, which is a saying that, you're trying to be like everybody else. If somebody has a fancy car, you buy a fancy car. It's called keeping up with the Joneses. Well, I was trying to keep up with the Joneses and failing all the time. And gifting felt horrible. I failed. I could never give enough. I didn't have enough money until I learned that the art of gifting is in the giving. So you and I like that saying, the journey is the destination. And we've whittled it down to the journey is. Well, let's use the same application to the art of gifting. The art of gifting, it's the art that is the gift. So it's what you come up with, your interpretation, what you want to give from your heart. That's the gift. So it can be anything. It could be, let's say this year I don't have a lot of money to buy gifts, but I really want to gift you, Stephanie, with something. So I start with going within. What's my gift? What is my gift that I can give Stephanie? Oh, I could send her my favorite poem that I just read that is like blowing my mind. I can gift that, but it's coming from something that is within me that I love, that stirs me. I could give that to you. That's the art of gifting. So I really learned this when a friend of mine was getting married. big wedding, big to do, big everything. And I thought, what can I give my friend who's getting married? I can't keep up with the Joneses. There's nothing that I could buy, right? That's where I was coming from. And then I had this divine inspiration that I could give her something that was coming through me, like a real, true, inspired gift. And that was, I decorated, it was the first talking stick I ever made. Now, you and I have sat in many circles, Stephanie, so you have seen my very ornate, very powerful, very dramatic talking stick that I use in circles. And this was the first one. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I thought, oh, I really want to make her this. I called it like a power tool, something that represented all her beauty and her strength. And it was divine inspiration. And I made it. And here's how I know it was the greatest gift of all, is because I enjoyed making it as much as I enjoyed giving it. And when I gave it to her, that was it. The gift was over. But the gift started with how much I was enjoying creating, making, because it was coming. It was coming through me, but it was also my gift to give to her. And that launched a whole series of me making talking sticks, or I call them wands, for everybody in my circle of friends. And that launched a whole other ritual of gifting amongst my friends. And that was when we would have a big celebration circle. Let's say it was your birthday, Stephanie, and we're all coming together, and women from your whole network of friends, family, women you work with, we all come together to celebrate you. And we decided that if everybody in your circle, let's say there were 20 women, if everybody in your circle brought one of their favorite things for a gift bag, but because there were 20 women, you'd have to bring 20 units. So everybody would get one in this ultimate gift bag. And it was, let's call it sliding scale, or come as you are. You bring what you could bring. So if somebody could bring their favorite poem written on a piece of paper, rolled up in a scroll, that would go in the gift bag. If someone could bring their favorite lipstick, they would bring 20 of that favorite lipstick. It would go in the bag. And let's say someone was doing really great that year and they could bring and could afford a cashmere sweater for everybody. Well, then they would bring 20 of their favorite cashmere sweater for everybody in the gift bag. And then you would be receiving, ready? Could you imagine this gift bag? It's like the greatest gift bag of all, because it has a piece of each and every woman that you love and admire and adore that's in your circle. It has every piece of them in this gift bag. And nobody's keeping up with the Joneses, because the invitation is that you bring what you can bring. And that's the art of gifting to me, is that you know yourself, you give what you can give, and you contribute that, and you're seeing the person or the people that you're giving to, like, I think they would really enjoy this. It's the greatest ritual that I've ever practiced with gift giving, because it also gives permission for everybody to be their authentic selves in how they gift. And you can guess the end of the story, that very often the poem is the most beloved thing in the gift bag, more so than the cashmere sweater. I mean, who doesn't love a cashmere sweater? Let's be clear. And a poem that comes, through somebody could also be something that is life-changing for someone else in the circle. So, or I just looked down at my notes because I got so excited prepping for this talk. Or I often ask people who have different talents that, let's say, I don't. I will ask them for a gift, and I will say, will you just sing me a song? We'll be in a circle, and they'll say, the greatest gift of all would be for me if you sang a song. And they're like, oh, this thing I do all the time, no big deal. And I'm like, yes, that thing you do all the time, no big deal. Would you gift that for me in this moment? And understanding that the one little thing that maybe you do that you don't think is a big deal could be the greatest gift of all to somebody else. I also love anonymous gifting. And we're exploring that in my circles this week because the theme is getting creating a conscious holiday and getting grounded in gratitude. And what we're reconnecting to is that the true art of giving, it feels so good and you want to give from a full cup. So we're playing around with this invitation that we all do, a random act of anonymous giving. So that means find somebody to give to and they can't know it's from you. So find somebody in your circle or outside of your circle that's in real need, or maybe they're not in real need. Maybe they're just, having a great day, but you're gonna now gift them with a surprise gift. And the reason we're doing this exercise is because we want to reconnect to why we give in the first place and get disconnected from the cultural pressure of everybody has to be giving all the time and we have to spend all this money and we have to get really stressed out in the holidays. We have to make sure that everybody else's needs are taken care of. And we've lost our connection to the origin, which is let's give from a place of joy, because giving and receiving are one and the same. And giving really is supposed to give us joy and not stress and be haggard after the holidays because we haven't given from a place of centeredness or joy or balance. So that's my little jumping off point and what I really have learned through circling about the art of gifting.
I love it, Dre. It is beautiful. It deeply resonates. And I would just like to encourage our listeners to really become conscious about the art of gifting and everything you said, and really remember that the most precious gifts we can give is our time, our attention, our love, and this
Mm,
emotional engagement and that little moment of connection between us and somebody else. And that there are so many, so, for example, taking Christmas, which is coming up, for us in Europe, that's a really big deal. And so, as you said, not to think about just buying the presents, but really thinking who in my family, my friends, my community, or even just the tube ride in the morning, the bus ride in the morning, and be conscious about giving that smile, that hand, giving up your seat, doing something where you really consciously gift something
yeah.
from your heart. And so I'd love to encourage people to really become conscious about that and try and
Mm,
show up as that person.
mm. Yeah, and the other thing I want to add to that is to be a conscious receiver as well. I am a recovering uh what do I want to say? I'm recovering from not knowing how to take care of myself. So very years ago, very often I thought, "Oh, if you're my best friend, Stephanie, you should know what to give me, and it should be the greatest gift that was ever given. And then I'm going to feel good about myself." And I have cured myself of that disorder, which is no, me receiving your gift. Let's say you pick out a sweater for me. Let's say I don't love the color. I'm missing the point. I'm missing the whole point if I don't humbly receive this gift that you thought of, that you thought I would enjoy, that you are giving me. And now I practice I practice really great self-care. So when I show up at a birthday, a holiday, I don't need anybody to fill my well. Everything is on top of how good I'm already feeling. So if you give me a cashmere sweater, all I have to do is receive the gift. Thank you so much. So thoughtful. This is amazing. Thank you. Now, if I decide to return it, exchange it, give it away, who cares? That's later. the art of receiving is the art of gifting, is the art of giving, because they're one and the same. And I watch a lot of people miss the boat on this one. It's like when a little kid offers you a piece of their food, and I'll watch adults go, no, that's okay. And I go, no, you're missing it. This is a child learning love, compassion, generosity, and they want to give you a piece of their food, candy, whatever. You have to receive that. I always thought, don't receive it, just take it. Take it, even if you don't like the pretend, like sometimes kids when they're playing with Play-Doh or something and they want to feed it to you and you have to pretend to eat it because they're learning about that exchange. Well, adults could continue that learning process. um when I love used to watching the royals do the line of receiving flowers and teddy bears, right? The royal family. Do you think they really are going to take all those flowers or teddy bears and prop them up in Buckingham Palace? No, because that's not the point. The point is people want to honor them. They want to gift them. They want to have the privilege of going here. I love you. I adore you. I see you. I want you to have this. And they graciously receive it. They graciously receive it. I have chills just thinking of it because it's such a great metaphor. They graciously receive it. And I want us all to do that around the holidays. Graciously receive whatever it is that's being gifted to you. Even if it's your crazy Aunt Sally giving you the worst, ugliest sweater you've ever seen, graciously receive that sweater. So she doesn't see you that well and you would never wear the sweater. It's not about that. It's about this is what she wants to give you. So graciously receive it. And then it goes in the donation bin to, we call it Goodwill here in the States. It goes to Goodwill or Salvation Army. But she doesn't have to know that. And that to me is the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of, or even birthdays or celebration, is that we're allowing that intimacy, that vulnerability, and just that gesture of allowing that deeper connection. It's not about the gift.
Yeah.
It is in some ways if you're tuned in, and in other ways it's not about the gift. It's about the little kid offering you the fake food, or it's the flower or the teddy bear being offered to the royal. That's what I want to do as my expression. It's like me making the talking sticks or the wands. This is, and people love them, by the way, but this is my expression. This is the way I see you and want to gift to you. And then the receiving is also the letting go for the person giving the gift. I used to be so attached to the gifts until I learned this, which was the art of gifting is in the art. It's not in if you like the sweater or not. It's, did I have fun picking it out? Did I wrap the present? Was I feeling it like so excited? That's the art of gifting. What you do with the sweater or not is none of my business.
Yeah,
Hopefully you'll receive it as it was intended. But to get us out of this, I think it's also what you and I are talking about is more the spiritual art of gifting. We're talking about what's the spirit behind it when so much of our culture has made it about the material value.
yeah.
Did I get enough? Did I get what I wanted? Me, I. Or did they like it? And is that a representation of me? Did the queen love my flowers? It's not about me,
Yeah.
right? It's about the spirit of gifting. I wanted to give it to this person who I really love.
And because it's an exchange of energy, because everything is energy and it's two people exchanging something or two or more people, and it's really about the intention behind it, which is what you said earlier, Dre.
Right. I agree. The intention behind it. And and I like to, I mean, I'm older now, so I've been giving gifts for a long time. I I like to check in with myself and check my motivation. What's my motivation behind giving this gift? And I've had lean years where I didn't feel like I had a lot to give, and then I've had years where I felt abundant and all I want to do is give. And now I know it, wherever I'm at, if I can check my motivation of, oh, you know what? I was thinking about Stephanie the other day, and I really want to send her this gift. I just want to share it with her. I want her to have one of these. I think she would love this. And when it feels pure and exciting and good, whether or not you're sending me a gift, whether or not we have an agreement about gift giving, I don't concern myself with that anymore. I just follow the inspiration and the flow. And I've learned this past year, especially, the more I give from that place, the more I enjoy receiving and the more I end up receiving. The amount of abundance is incredible when I'm giving from that place, because to your point, Stephanie, then I'm more open to all the people that you're speaking to as well. So I'll get the smile at the grocery store that I wasn't expecting. I'll be on the receiving end of that too. Why? Because I'm practicing it. That's what I'm open to. I'm open to receiving all these blessings and kindness and gratitudes and synchronicities, because I'm starting from that place of, if I can only give a pen this year, well, that's what I'm going to give, and I'm going to give it with total joy. All because it's also, I think it's like the greatest pen ever, and I want everybody to have this great pen. But I'm checking in with myself first, going, oh yeah, this is in alignment with where I'm at, what I'm feeling. It feels so good to give. And if we're all giving from that type of place, well, then I think we're helping to rebalance all the craziness that has gotten out of control around gift giving season. I mean, I don't know what it's like where you are, but here in the States, we have this thing called Black Friday. It's after Thanksgiving, and it's the biggest shopping day of the year. And I'm sure you see it on the news. Literally, people get into fistfights at the stores because there's been this false created narrative of lack and limitation, which is, if you don't rush to get this sale, you'll lose out and it'll never happen again. And you will be, so it's creating all this separation of intention, or separation from one another, or separation from what we're talking about, which is the real meaning of the art of gifting. It's like the opposite of the holidays to me. And I succumb to it too. I'm already going like, yeah, but the deals are really good on Black Friday. Maybe I should be scrambling to buy the thing that I'm not really inspired to give. So thank you for asking me to share about this, because I'm realigning myself, or getting in alignment right now before the holidays, about really, what is it about? What are the holidays about for you? And checking in, what's my motivation, and where do I want, or where do I choose to give from?
I'm so grateful for all your inspiration and your musings, and I think it comes at a perfect time for everyone to really become conscious on how they want to gift and receive this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a gift, Stephanie. All you do here with She Can, and all the women that you connect, and you're inspiring us to be, grounded and stay connected and be a presence for other women, and to give our gifts. So thank you. This is the art of gifting for me, is that you gave me the invitation just to share some of my story, some of what works for me, what I'm still learning. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me and for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Dre.